Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I will give it to see who joins in. And then we'll start. If at all possible, if you guys could just turn on your video for a couple of minutes so I can see who you guys are, and then you can turn it off. I guess nobody wants to turn on their video. Hi, Hallie.
I tried to unmute, it didn't go. Yeah, sorry, I came from the bike ride, so I don't want to show my face.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to say,
Yeah.
oh, I probably
I know, it must be awful when you don't see people.
Yeah, it kind of takes away a little bit from the class, but I understand.
Yes, I know.
People are just, in their, homes and in a surrounding where they can't turn on cameras, or sometimes they don't even have cameras on some of the computers. So it's all good. It's all
So,
good.
yes. Okay.
Yeah, no worries.
They are shy.
Yeah. I guess it's 11:02. Hey, Joseph, how are you? You're muted, but that's okay.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Joseph, how are you?
Good.
Yeah. So I wanted to go around quickly as people are coming in. Wanted to have everybody just take a minute or so and introduce themselves, and kind of let me know what they are looking from this email drips class. What do they want to achieve? So I'll go with you, Haley. You are on my screen first. Just take a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I have a pretty badly done the email system and things like that. So I've done the trainings like a couple of years back, a lot of them, but now I think that I kind of ignored it somehow, and I thought that I'm going to give a go. If I don't get this working by Christmas, I'm pissed off.
Got it. Okay, makes sense. How about you, Joe?
I took your class probably like 18 months ago. Really, what I want out of today is to look over your shoulder and see what I might be overlooking. I do enjoy the system, and to anybody who's like starting out, I would just say your first month's not going to be perfect, or your first time doing it's not going to be perfect, and just do it and get what do you get out of it, and then try it again a couple of weeks later and try it again. And the reason I say a couple of weeks later is not walk away disgusted, but hopefully your drips last like 14 or 20 days or something like that.
Got it.
Yeah.
Good. That's a really good point. Glad you're giving that advice. I have Anthony on my screen. If you could speak, Anthony, just let me know what you are looking to get out. Yeah.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Anthony.
Yeah, I'm just looking to become more of an expert with command in general. So every aspect that I can learn the entire integrated holistic system.
And
Uh,
Anthony, are you a agent? Or
Yeah, I was on the softball team. Remember me?
oh yeah,
Yeah,
okay, got it.
there we go.
Sorry.
No
Yeah,
worries.
yeah, it's just sometimes when I see the full name, then that's why like if I see faces, then I'll remember, but the name sometimes I don't.
Yeah, I don't have a
cool.
camera on my PC,
No worries, no
unfortunately.
worries, no worries. No, Anthony, now I remember you. Yeah. How about you, Rachna? You there, Rachna? Yeah.
Yes, yes. Hi, Ajay.
Hey, what do you want to accomplish, Rachna, today?
Just here to see what you're sharing today, and if I can learn something from there, I'm sure there's a lot to learn.
Cool. Are you doing any email drips right now, Rachna?
No, I'm not doing it.
Okay, you're not doing it. Okay, cool. And then Julie. Can you hear us, Julie? Are you there? It looks like Julie's muted and she has not responded. So we'll come back to her. So okay, so this is just to start off with, I kind of thought about it and what to do with this class, and I decided that I was going to do a very hands-on class. I was going to show you guys what I do, how I do it. So I'm not going to put up slides or any of those things. It's just going to be get into the system and tell you what it can do, what it cannot do, what other systems I use to supplement my email drips, where the limitations are right now in our system, in our command, and when they will be worked on, when they will become available. As I'm going through this exercise, please feel free to follow on your computers and just jump in and ask questions. Going to do a very interactive class. So don't hesitate to just jump in and ask questions. Okay, it's a good small. We're small numbers, so this could help benefit all of us get some personal attentions too. So the size of the class is really good in that respect. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with command. This is my own personal command that I use. And so we will go from there. And if you can just let me know if you guys can see, you can use the icons anytime on Zoom and tell me if somebody cannot see that screen. Hoping everybody can see my screen, and you can say yes or no also. Everybody okay? Everybody good?
You froze.
I froze.
Can you hear me?
But we can see it.
Okay. Is everybody okay? Can everybody see the screen? Haley, are you okay?
Yes, I can see the welcome home AJ screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
I wanted to say we can see it fine. I can see anyway.
Okay, awesome. All right. So just a little bit of background into email drips. Millionaire Real Estate Agent book tells you of 36 touches a year, I believe, for you to keep top of the mind with your clients. Just a quick straw poll here. Of those 36 touches, just give me an idea of what do you think, how many of those touches should be emails? So we're gonna take this class from a perspective of that, hey, email drips form part of that 36 touches. Does that make sense? It's good, right? So, and then from there, we're going to see what people think. And so with me, for me, touches is email, text, calls, and possibly personal meetings, but that's fairly limited. If you took 36 touches, what is everybody's opinion on how many of those should be emails? Of those 36, anybody venture to take a guess, or has anybody run some numbers on and said, hey, this is the amount of emails I would like to send in a year? Anybody? Okay, so it seems like most of you don't have an opinion on how many emails. Anthony wrote 20 plus. So Anthony, out of 36, are you saying 20 plus as an email? And Joe, you said per year 20 plus is what you said. Saying, and you can keep yourself unmuted. Also, we are only a class of 6 people. So yeah, you're muted, Joe. So yeah.
I don't know what, maybe 2 a month would be, because I'm personally really don't like when they come all the time. But
So you
emails only. Yeah,
okay, so two per, that will make it 24. So out of the 36 touches, you want 24 to be email. That's the kind of mix you want.
No,
so because I'm talking.
Good point. No.
So well, the reason I'm asking this question, Haley, is let's say if we do 36 touches. I mean, drips is all about keeping in touch, right? That's what drips are. The meaning of drips is, hey, we want to keep in touch with our clients. Email drip happens to be one part of it. You could have text as part of the drips. You could have calling as part of the drips, right? So that's my question. Sorry, I maybe I didn't come across clearly. Out of the 36 touches that you minimum that you want to do, which is what Millionaire Real Estate Books tells you, how many should be emails, how many should be calls, how many should be text, is what I was asking, percentage wise.
AJ, this is Joseph. I can't type fast enough to communicate with you, so.
Oh, so just talk.
I'll just
talk.
say it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I have them kind of not formally, but in my mind in 2 groups. Past clients get 4 calls a year. Somebody that's just come on probably from a Facebook lead or an open house lead, at least 8. Some postcards, a number to be determined, but the majority of it is going to be these drip campaigns. The majority of it, well, at least 20. Yeah.
So let me also now interject and ask you something, Joe. What we do is we divide clients into 2 parts, right?
Right.
Somebody that you have met recently at an open house or in person at a event, then you really try to communicate them very aggressively every day for maybe a week or 2, right? So those are, I don't call them drips. I call them, those are like 8 days of pain or communication, which is 8 days of, as Carl Batiste calls them, 8 days of hell, right?
Well,
So-
hopefully I'm so charming, it's not hell, but yes.
So yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that's yes, that goes without saying. So once you finish that and they have not come to the table and they have not responded, then the drips start.
Okay.
So let's say that 1 week goes on the active client, that 1 week goes, and now that's done. Now you want to get on a drip.
Mhm.
And when you get on a drip, it could be email, it could be text, and it could be call. And you mentioned that the older clients, you like to call them 4 times, so that's 4 touches there. Then you have text, and you said you could have postcards, and then you could have emails, right?
Right.
So combination of all of those things, Julie said 12 per year, perhaps. It's not a bad idea, Julie. You could do 12 to 15 in a drip, and the clients would be okay. As Haley said, you don't want to do too much. Plus, you want to mix in with other forms of communication, whether it could be postcard, whether it could be a call, whether it could be a text, right? So, does that make sense, Joe? Is the difference between you doing initially that 7 or 8
Right,
days
yes.
and then do the drips, right?
Yes,
Kind of thing.
yes.
So, okay. So everybody agreeing on that terminology, that drips is something we do after we have done our active solicitation when we meet them, and then we go into the drip. And just picking out Rachna also, she does a lot of open houses. So Rachna, just a question for you. Is that the definition of drip? Do you agree with my definition of drip? Is like, hey, you meet somebody on open house and then you kind of talk to them actively for a few days, and if they don't respond, then you go on the drip.
Yeah.
Is that kind of sort of how we want to do it? We do it or not, that's a different question, but that's how we want to do it, right?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Okay, cool. So that's how I do it mostly. So as Julie said, 12, I'm going to actually, when I show you drips, I'm going to show you 2 or 3 different ways you can set up drips, right? Command is very good at drips in certain in certain aspects, and then not so good in certain aspects, and you may have to use an outside system for now. It will get better. So when I talk about drips, I put them in email drips specifically. I put them in really 2 categories, like almost 2, and those 2 categories are pretty much the reason I put them in 2 categories is one is command specific and one is outside of command. So how many of you have heard about monthly neighborhood nurture? You can put it on chat, yes or no, or you can speak out. Have you guys heard of monthly neighborhood nurture, the smart plan? Or
No.
you haven't?
Mhm.
Anthony says no. Haley says yes, somewhat. Using it also somewhat. Rachna, you probably know this one, I guess, is the monthly neighborhood nurture.
Yeah.
And then Joe, do you know monthly neighborhood nurture?
I've probably heard of it, never picked it up.
Okay, cool. All right. So the first thing we're going to get into with the email drips is we're going to get into the command and 3 things in the command that command does very well. And they're all are related to this monthly neighborhood nurture kind of thing, right? So I'm going to jump into what is called smart plans. And when I go into Smart Plan, you're like, hey, you were going to tell us about the email drips. What are you doing in Smart Plan? Well, point is that email drip comes in various different forms, right? You could create your own specific email drip, or you can actually have a Smart Plan that works like an email drip. Okay, so, and it'll become very clear to you guys. Okay, so I'm going to go into a monthly neighborhood nurture, and I'm going to open this up, right? So it is a Smart Plan that is created by Keller Williams. And if I open this up, what it does is monthly neighborhood nurture. It sends out a monthly neighborhood nurture. It sets a delay of 30 days, and it restarts the plan again. Okay. Now, if you set this up for your clients, the only requirement is, there are two requirements. It could be either or, and I'll show it to you. You could either have a address, a primary address, their address. And when you have their address, it will pick up the primary neighborhood that they live in. Or you can just assign, if you don't have their address, you could assign a neighborhood to them. And I'll just show you that, how to do it. It used to be that if you didn't have the address, you could not run this monthly neighborhood nurture, but now that's not the case. So if you met somebody at an open house, you could assign that neighborhood. Let's say when you meet somebody at the open house, you're not going to know their address. There are good chances that you will not. You can still actually send this monthly neighborhood nurture by assigning that as a primary neighborhood. So let's go into a contact. So this will send out 12 emails. This is a very classic example of a Smart Plan, which is a drip, which is an email drip. So let's go to some contacts, and I'm gonna search for my own name, and I'm gonna go in here, and you notice that I don't have a neighborhood here. I have another one in which I will have a neighborhood. Yes, so I have a neighborhood here. So I've created this. And if you notice, I have a primary neighborhood. I have an email address. I have a physical address here, and I have a primary neighborhood. When you go to Smart Plan here, and you say, I want to add a Smart Plan, you go down, and you can select this monthly neighborhood plan. Okay, and it'll say, hey, when do you want to start this? You can say, I want to start now, or I want to start this on a following date. And you can do either one of them. The moment I do that, it will start the plan, and it will send out every month. It will send out a monthly neighborhood nurture. Now you probably ask me, how does that look? So that I'm not going to start that here, but I'm going to show you what the user. Well, let's start it here, and then I'll also show you. So now I have added this Smart Plan to this contact, and it says that when I go to Smart Plan, it says it has already been added to them. Okay. Now, from here, I'll show you what the users are they're going to get an email with a link. And if I preview this here, it will show me what that email looks like to them. Okay. this is what the email will look like to them. And of course, there are no results here right now. There's nothing sold. But if there were houses sold, it will show houses here. It'll give them the neighborhood stats when you go here. Okay. And it says one recently sold for 3780. It will give them all this idea of what the schools are, what the places to eat, and what are the nearby neighborhood. I can go into a nearby neighborhood and see what's going on there as well. And it has your branding on it. So that's what they are going to see when they get the email. This is 12 of the emails that they are going to get with as simple as doing this on your system. I'm going to stop there, let it sink in, and I'm going to have you guys ask me question. I'll give you a couple of minutes to kind of digest this, and then tell me if this at least addresses one idea of an email drip for you.
That's I've been doing previously, but I haven't been updating much. But yes, I've done that. My problem is that I'm not in the Twilio, and is that the best to join? Because that's probably been one of my problems, that I don't have the automated systems. If I can
so Haley, Twilio is for text, sending text and sending text smart plans and sending text strips. Our class today is focusing on
sorry about
email, right? So we can have a class with Twilio and that, but I wanted to specifically focus on emails today and how various ways you can do email drips, okay? So anybody have any other questions on this particular drip, how it works? Is this, something that is,
I'm having trouble finding it in the library.
So yes, so what you need to do, let me show you what you need to do, is you go to Smart Plans.
Yes.
Then you go to, if you don't see it that you have already selected and made it your own, you go to the library.
Okay.
And then it is a Keller Williams plan, and it'll be like, see this bi-weekly neighborhood nurture, and you can search monthly neighborhood nurture, right? And then you'll get that right away. And then you add that smart plan. So library is all this, it's a library, think of it, it's a library of all the smart plans that whether Keller Williams has written or all the other agents have published and all those things. And there are a lot of them here. And then out of that, you select and make one your own. So you are literally checking out a book from the library and making it your own. So since I already have it, I don't want to add another one, but all I do is I add this and it'll add this to my library. And then I go to my smart plans, that's where I will see it here. And that's where I have it. And and I put an E in front because that tells me it's an email. This is an email smart plan and then monthly neighborhood nurture. Does it answer your question, Joe?
I think so.
Okay.
Oh, yes, it's right on top. Excellent.
Cool. All right. And then you can go, and then I showed you one way to assign this smart plan to a contact, which is go into the contact and select smart plan and attach that. The other way in bulk to assign contact is by going into the smart plan and going into your contact, and you can search by tags or search, I have all these contacts, and I can say, hey, now I want to assign it to these particular contacts, okay? And I can go through all the contacts and start assigning them here. And so this allows me to do it in bulk. So if I say, hey, this is for all my buyers, tag, and, oh, actually, sorry. So it's all for my buyer tags. So I'll select buyers, and then it'll show me all my buyer, whoever is tagged as a buyer. Let's say if I want to send it to them. Or if I want to send it to sellers, I can say, I have a seller tag, and I can send it to sellers. Okay, and so I can send them to sellers. And then I can assign all
See
of them.
that you call it monthly neighborhood nurture. So is it something different from smart plans which are posted already in the library, or is it?
Yeah, so Rachna, what I did was when I bring it from the library into smart plan, they come as they name them my monthly neighborhood nurture. Okay, they just make a name up. I have given them a name so that it can tell me what type of a smart plan this is.
Okay.
So I named it E because this is an email smart plan. When I say task and C means this is a task and a call smart plan. And E and T means it's a mixture of email and text smart plan. Does it make sense, Rachna?
I see. Got it.
Yeah.
So it's just
So that
like
way, at least, as soon as you see the smart plan, you can tell, hey, what the smart plan is, right?
I see. Okay, so that's like further classification for easy identification here.
Yes, and what we are hearing in my lab advisors meetings is everybody is saying that, hey, we create so many smart plans that you could have hundreds of them. And so, hey, there is no organization to them, a folder structure and organization to them. So I think there is already a feature that is being discussed and being worked on, which is you'll have a folder scheme here where you could have different folders for your different smart plans so that you don't have to scroll through like 100 of them, right? So that's being done. But this is my way of naming them so that it's clear to me what kind of smart plan is it.
Okay, no, that's a good distinction, yeah.
Yeah. So, so everybody clear? Can we move forward on from here? Everybody clear on this monthly neighborhood nurture plan?
Yeah.
Okay. That will give you 12 emails to your clients. And it's really easy to set up. If you're not doing anything, just do this. That's all you do. So Rachna, for you specifically, come back from open house, the leads you have, let's say you were doing it in Sunnyvale in a neighborhood, right? Sarah Park or something like that. Then just enter them in your database, select Sarah Park as the neighborhood, and just send them this monthly neighborhood nurture.
So if you put an address, for example, like we do open houses, if we put that address, it just picks up that neighborhood.
It will pick up that neighborhood, but you will run into a problem, and I ran into that. That's a very good question.
Okay.
The problem is, let's say you met 10 people and you got contact for 10 people, right? If you put all 10 as the same address, it messes up your database if you want to do like cards, postcards, and things like that.
No, just individually, like when we're entering. So if like, let's say we're putting on a smart plan for individual leads, let's say we get these leads, right? So maybe from our conversation, we know, okay, they're looking into these particular neighborhoods. So
correct.
So like, I'm just asking, like, do we just put in the address, for example, wherever we met, figure out, okay, these are the neighborhoods as they're mentioned on the next door, and then we just pick that and put them on this monthly
Yeah,
or
so that's
weekly?
what I was trying to answer. I initially was tried to do that, Rachna. So let's say I met 10 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
At an open house. And let's say it was 123 Main Street in Sarah Park in Sunnyvale, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I met all 10 of them at 123 Main Street. I go into that, and for all of those 10 people, I put down as their primary address 123 Main Street, okay?
Okay.
Because then it picks up that neighborhood, Sarah
Mm.
Park neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
By giving that. But here is what happens. The way it messes up your database a little bit is, let's say future down the road, now you want to do a postcard, mail them a postcard, and you use real mailers, and you create mailing labels out of your command database because you have that feature of doing campaigns which are direct mail campaigns, right? All of these 10 people will have 123 Main Street as the address, and it'll mess up your sending your card kind
I
of a
see.
thing.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so unless you remember, it adds an additional step, because then you have to remember, let's say this lead converts for you, and some of them don't convert, and you have to go fix their addresses to the real address at some point in the future, right?
Okay.
So it can work in the short run. So it is a good way of doing it. But I'm just giving you a long-term disadvantage you can have with that
So how
scenario.
did
Does that make clear, Rachna?
Yes. So how did you fix it?
No, what I did was I didn't. So initially, when command came, you could not add a primary neighborhood without having an address. I think that got fixed, and you can add a primary neighborhood without having an address.
Okay.
We'll test that. Let me see. I want to test that, because I've heard that has been fixed. So I'm going to go to me, and this is the one that doesn't have a stuff. And you see how I have this add neighborhood here?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have an address here, okay? If you notice, I don't have an address.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just add a primary neighborhood, and I'll say find on the map. And I'll say select a thing, Sunnyvale. Sunnyvale, California. Well, whatever. And so I'll just go do this, and I'll say their address is Rightmont Corners. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Save. And once I do that, I can assign a smart plan to it.
Okay.
Because now I have at least one primary neighborhood there.
Okay.
Without putting the address. This feature was not there. It had some problems.
Okay.
But now it is there. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So then it becomes easy for you to send this monthly neighborhood nurture to them.
Okay.
AJ, are you still in the committees that make recommendations to the?
Yes. Yeah, I did.
Because we can put the address and call it other instead of primary, but then the system still, gobbles it up and makes it the primary address.
Correct. And
Right.
so think through this, right? Because you could, without the primary address, they don't want you to put the other address. You could, and then they'll make it primary.
Yes.
I think there may be a feature that is in ideas.kw.com. There might be a mention of this on how to handle that whole situation, and there might be a fix that people have been asking for. I'll look it up for you,
Okay,
Joe, and see if there is something on that. Okay. So you tried to put it in other, and it still made it primary.
Right. It still ends up being primary when you go back and look at the client later.
I'll test it, and I'll check if that is the case. Okay. Is everybody on chat? Let me know if everybody understood this smart plan, and then we can and then say yes. If there are no more questions, we can move forward. You can put it on chat. Everybody good with this? Everybody understand? If nothing else, I want you to walk away with this. Okay. So that if you could walk away with this, at least I know that you can at least at the minimum do this. Okay. All right.
So, what other plans do you put your open house leads into?
So let me, this is, some of those plans, by the way, the post open house plans are more 6 steps, which have actually text and emails and stuff and all those things. And then once that exhausts, Rachna, then it kind of jumps into just an email drip of neighborhood nurture.
I see.
So you can link the 2 plans together. Okay.
I see.
So I have like a post open house plan, another one of Facebook lead, paid lead follow-up plans and stuff like that. But those are combination text, call, and so it's email, text, and then some of them are calls even. So it's tasks, call, text, all those things. Okay.
So these are standard smart plans which are available in library, and you pick it.
Some of them I've also modified as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so to taken them and modified them. And so that, again, once you get to a little bit more level of comfort with smart plans, then you can start modifying the smart plans a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, so the next one. Another way we do email drips, okay, is in campaigns. We go to campaigns, all right, and then what we do is we go into email campaigns. So we had smart plan, and we could do email campaigns from there, emails from there, and then I'm in campaigns now. And this is how we are supposed to do email drips, but Command is not very good at this, not yet. It's okay. You could start using this and working with this. It'll take a few more months for it to become where it will have more features that will make it easier, right, to do this, right? So if you look at this for this class, I created something. It's called email drip class. Okay, so what I did was when you go to campaigns, when you go to email campaigns, and I went in and I said, I'm going to edit this campaign. I created this. And so this is a way to create campaigns in Command. All I did was very simple. I said, this is the campaign name, comes from my account. And then I can select the recipient list. I had a pre-created list, which is my list of bots, right? And I went in there and I can select that. And if I had to look at the list, I can go back and look at what my bot list was. I'll say, no, yes, I want to leave. And so these are the email lists here that I have. And then you can see I have 47 contacts in them. And all that is all the people who have bought from me. Okay. So I just selected a tag called bot, and then I selected all these people. Okay. So that's the email list, and you can create new lists also with this. Then when I go to my emails, and it's causing some problem. I'll start again. Give me a minute. I'll log out. I'm seeing some squirrely stuff here. Let me log in again. Okay. So, so here is a plus sign which says you can create new ones. This is how I created them. It says plus sign, and I can create emails, direct mail, social ads, social posts, but we're talking about email. So if I selected email, it'll create a new one. This is how I created the one that I have already. And so we're just going to go into that, and I'm going to show you what it is by doing an edit on this. And so there are two ways to then put content on the email. And one is you just put, you bring in your own design, or you have existing designs. So I had brought this in as a PDF into designs, and I was able to pull that in. It was a National Association of Realtor market report, and I just picked it up and I said, hey, this is what I want to send to my people. If I wanted to update that design, there are a bunch of other designs that I have. I could have Happy Spring, copy of this, blah, 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 all those things, open house, any of those things, right? These are my templates, and these are the templates of KWRI. I could pick any of these. I picked one, assign that. I can put the subject saying NAR market report. And then I can select a list here saying bought, right? And it'll send it to 47 people. And then this is my email campaign, and I can schedule it then. And if I schedule, it'll schedule it this way. That becomes your schedule email campaign 2 hours from now to 12 months, okay? And then you can send this email campaign to people. Now, you can create a task in the smart plan to say this email should go out every month. And then what will happen is this executes only once and sends it out once. So you will have to then create a task for yourself saying, hey, I need to send it out every month. And then you can have either content that updates automatically, or you could have the same content going. That's up to you. And then you can send it out. And so that's the other way to do email campaigns and email drips. Okay. I'm not going to send it. Save draft and save and exit. And so that will start sending emails to people. We'll send one email. You can come back next month, send another email. This has the benefit of showing you also how many people opened, how many people clicked on it, how many recipients were there. As you can tell, I have not done a email campaign from the system, but it will allow you to see all those numbers from there. So it's starting to get better and better, but it is not yet fully there. So that's why I don't teach too much to this email campaign, but it's something that can be used by you. This will allow you to start sending these email campaigns as well. So it provides you another touch point. I'm going to stop here for a couple of minutes and ask people if they understand this particular way of sending email and email campaigns from command. And do you have any questions on that?
So how did you create that design? Does that take like, how did you go about that? Like
So what
what
I
you
did,
explained about campaign, that is pretty clear.
Rachana, what I did was I went into designs and I imported that particular PDF into the design. That's all I did.
Oh, so it automatically makes it against a KW background?
Correct. Yeah. So I just went in and I said, see this copy of this?
Mm-hmm.
I just brought it in.
I see.
I imported the design, and then it kind of, what it does is underneath your stuff, when it goes out, it definitely puts that watermark of our market center and all those things.
I see.
And in some cases, I also, like, you can edit it. You can open this, edit it, and I put my logo and my photos on top of that as well.
Oh, okay.
So you could edit the design. Like you could take the PDF and you could put things in there. It's a little bit, it's a design, that's kind of as a part of the design class where you can do that. But I was showing you something very, very simple. Whereas very simple, where we had just bring in something and send it out as an email.
Okay.
Completely agree with you, Joe. And that's another feature that is being worked on, which is smart plan metrics on emails. That's coming. It would be nice to get that metrics to say, hey, how many people open and what happened to those. So agreed with you completely. Yeah. So that's another way of sending emails out from command. I'm going to go back to smart plans one more time, and I'm going to show you a smart plan that I had created, which is called New Year Wishes from Designs. This is an email of New Year, and what I did was I created a smart plan out of a design, and then I assigned that as a smart plan. So the way you were saying, Joseph, is that, Joe, you were asking, so I could do a smart plan where I can bring in my design and I can send this as an email. So remember, we talked a lot about monthly neighborhood nurture. That is a smart plan that is already built smart plan. We cannot edit that. If you create a new plan and this is the plan that you create, then it's a Happy New Year smart plan, and you could say, hey, send it every year. And that becomes another email that goes out every year on the new year, and with this design. And then this design is actually built into KWRI. So this is one of those templates that is already there in KWRI. That's another smart plan. So we talked about three things, and I'm going to stop here because I don't want to overwhelm with too much information. So to recap, we first looked at monthly neighborhood nurture, which will give you 12 emails to send out. Very little effort, send out 12 emails. Anybody you meet. That's a good drip. Second is, you create an email campaign. You want to specifically convey something to people. You create an email campaign in campaigns. You have your own design. You have a set of people that you want to send out to, send it out to them. That's not repetitive. You will have to set a task to say, hey, how often you want to send it out. Number three, back to smart plan again, but this time sending a smart plan that you have created. In this case, a New Year greeting. And this will, you can set the frequency. In this case, it's only going out once a year, but you can always do it multiple times. And so it could be not New Year's, but it could have been every month you wanted to send them some kind of a greeting, and you say, hey, every 30 days, send them this particular card or something like that. And you can send it out to people. So those three things combined together can get you on your way to a very good starting point of an email campaign, which does almost, can get about 10 to 15, 12 to 15, 20 touches by email without putting too much effort. 12, no problem on monthly neighborhood nurture. And then a little bit more work to do a email campaign or a smart plan that you have created. I'm going to stop here. It's about 5 more minutes. I'm going to open it up, and I'll leave and for question and answer. Before I actually open it up for question and answers, I wanted to also tell you that for a little bit more complex emails, I've and sending out emails where I need more of that data, as Joe said, right? Of how many click, how many opens, and retargeting and things like that. I have taken my database out and put it into MailChimp, and I use MailChimp to send out my newsletter. There is a mail newsletter, email newsletter kind of a template in Command, but it is not as full featured right now. And that's the reason why I have taken it out to MailChimp. At some point when Command becomes more full featured, then I'll stop using MailChimp. For now, I do a combination of both these things. So I do monthly neighborhood nurture. I do some of these specific emails like New Year's and things like that, emails from there. And then I do MailChimp and I do a newsletter from there. And that gives me almost about, in some cases, 15 to 20 touches by email. Okay, so now I'm done with the email drip class. Questions, comments, observation, was this helpful? Did you guys get to learn something?
Yes, monthly nurture was very clear.
Cool. All right. And Rachna, you'll be able to do it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. And Anthony said that this was very helpful. Thanks. Joe, you are pretty clear on, and you'll be able to start some of your email drips now with the help of this. Okay, you're muted. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I'm good. Yeah, like I said, I typed too slow. I just have to tell you, it was good.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Haley and Julie, hopefully, I'm assuming that you guys understood most of what I was saying, and you'll be able to use this. But again, as said, as Joe was saying, don't wait, just start doing it. And then you'll kind of make a couple of mistakes here and there, but as we hear all the time in real estate, you don't wait 6 months for perfection. You just go in and do it. So what if it is you have a few mistakes here and there? Gives you an opportunity. If you made a mistake and sent something to the client which you should not have, just tell them, hey, oops, sorry, and it gives you a second chance to touch. I have done that. Touch them. And creates an even better contact with them. Yeah. Okay. So if there are no more questions, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you guys attending this. You all have my email address. I'll put it again in there. In case you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop me a line. But thank you again, guys.